There's people who've come from all over the country tonight as well, lots of different areas, new people who've come along to our event. All of you, thank you and welcome. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. These are serious events, but we try to make them welcoming and fun, so I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you've enjoyed the food and the surroundings. It's the second time we've used Alex's, and it's a cracking place, I think, and always made very welcome here. Just before I properly introduce our speaker, I think it would be remiss at a meeting like this not to mention a few things about what's been going on recently. And it's going to perhaps dampen to a degree some of the high spirits we've got, but it needs to be said, and I think we'd be wrong if we didn't. Over the last week, we've seen riots across our country. Riots in cities and towns of people who've gone out with no other reason than to destroy, to rob and to loot. People who don't give a damn about our society and about the efforts of people. And I think tonight, we should be thinking of Mr. Tariq Johan, whose son died while they were defending their premises when he was run over. And that man's bravery and his dignity, he stopped a race riot by the strength of his character and the dignity of his demeanour. I don't think I could have been like that. I don't think I could have had the nerve to stand my ground that way. I think we need to think of him. I think we need to also think of a gentleman called Shiva Kandia, whose grocery store in London was robbed and destroyed and burnt to the ground. He's left with 25 pence to his name. He's made the statement he's going to start again. He's not going to give up. He won't let them beat him. Bravery and real courage, and that's wonderful. Out of all these bad things that have happened, we see strength of character shining through. The point of all this is, we heard today in Parliament, Mr. Cameron and co talking about fighting back and morals, morality, discipline and so on. It's all right to talk about it. It's time to do something about it. We talk about campaigning against political correctness, and we talk about freedom, the Freedom Association. Freedom without responsibility is anarchy. These people have got to be taught that they cannot run riot in the streets. The police have got to be given free rein to clear our streets without being worried that they're going to lose their job, without layers and layers of political correctness telling them what they can and cannot do. If people are destroying a city or running riot in the streets, the police must clear the streets with no fear of the consequences. Kids going through school, they need to learn that there is a line, that there is discipline, that you cannot run riot. I heard some kids, teenagers, interviewed on the radio. Their comment was, we've done this because it's a bit of a laugh and we want to show the police that we can do it. And also, well, we want to do a bit of shopping, and who's to stop us? We can do what we want. They've got to learn they cannot do what they want. In schools, there's got to be a return to discipline. Parents at home have got to be aware that if they want to give a clip around the ear to their kids, they're not going to have social services descend on them.
Here's your problem.
This is the whole point. This society has got to be looked at again. We've had years upon years of liberal, allowing things to slip. No more. There's a change. I was on radio BBC WM in the week, and I was put on to put forward the case of the anti-political correctness case. They didn't need me. I couldn't get on. I was half an hour late getting on because the general public were saying the things that we say. Now's the time. Now's the time for people who want to restore standards to stand up and push the case, make it happen. And I know in this room, from a lot of you, that you're of a like mind. I hope that we can all together start making some changes and applying some pressure to bring our country back to where it should be. It's a great country with a great history, great people as I've just described in it. There's still great people here. What's happened is there's been a breakdown of society, of the fabric of law and order and respect. I'm all for freedom. I'm a massive believer in freedom, but if you overstep the line, you must know you've gone too far and you will be punished. There are lines. Just as simple as that. So, having said that rather serious interlude, but I think it needed to be said, I think it's time to move on to introducing our guest speaker, who's going to give us a fantastic speech, I've no doubt. He's given me a bit of information about him. I won't embarrass him by saying born in 1942. Oh, sorry. But,
that's a good year.
I've seen John speak at events before. He's one of the foremost leading opinions on political reform and changes that can be made in this country. He was bold enough to stand up for the Yes to AV campaign, fought, I thought, very bravely and strong. I have to say I didn't necessarily agree with everything, but I did admire massively the way he went about it, and particularly at the one meeting where myself and Starr were at, we were shouting a bit of, not heckling's too strong a word, but we were giving our thoughts, and I thought you did remarkably well, and I do admire you for it.
And we still stay friends.
Yes. A little bit of background about John. He formed the Campaign for Conservative Democracy, something which I think is a very noble cause, having been within that party for a while. I think he did a wonderful job within that. He's, again, he was chairman of the Conservative Yes campaign. He's appeared on TV and radio numerous times, Newsnight, Today programme, World at One, News 24, to name but a few. So I'd like to hand over to John. Oh, and of course, not forgetting, written two excellent books. One is Our Fight for Democracy, and the other one is A History of Democracy in the UK, which he has here with him tonight. So, without any further ado, I'd like to hand over. Thank you very much indeed for making the journey up here, and I've been looking forward to this. So, thank you, John Strafford.